But
No,
anyway,
I feel like your best chance were the games where like it doesn't matter for the standings of the team.
my best chance was a game with Santorin because he's one of the only people who actually play it.
Also true.
All right, so let's see what we actually got here. As it's Blitz, Jace, and Yone banned away by C9. It's Melio, Kaisa, and Rumble banned out by FlyQuest. Even after Melio got nerfed and he wasn't SSS tier, it's still the fact that Cloud9 loves to play it in combination with Kindred for Blaber in the jungle that I think has a lot of teams respecting that. But C9 is going to first pick the Tristana. Instant response from FlyQuest is the Ivern and the Rell.
That's the most shout-outs I've ever seen.
That's a bunch. I couldn't even read all of it.
Honestly, I'm pretty excited to see Spica on Ivern again. I actually voted for him for player of the game yesterday. I think his Ivern play was really underestimated. It was he's obviously has a very high mastery on this champion. And when you have a Rell support, you know, this engaged champion to lay the front line for you, it really brings out the greatest strengths of the champion. But we are going to see that Sejuani into it. Everybody's looking for these champions that have knockbacks. You know, Kenvi played the Graves into the Ivern, so you can knock back the Daisy with the auto attacks. Sejuani, W swing as well can do it. And we'll see another double Yordle comp, although they have changed the Yordles involved, Flowers.
Yeah, this one doesn't use bombs.
Yeah, this one uses electricity Yordles instead.
Yeah, the turret's not quite as in danger as they were in the previous game. But the early lock on the Kennen is actually kind of surprising to me, considering there's still so many other options for different roles available. But hey, that's what C9 wants to go for. FlyQuest going to respond by picking up Aphelios before the second round of bans hit.
I, for one, hope we do not see another Static Shiv Kennen, because although Static Shiv is all the rage right now, AP Bomber Kennen is still, I feel like, the most impactful type of Kennen to go. Then you can get those really big Kennen teleport flanks or flash plays into the enemy team and the devastating ultimates. Whereas the Shiv gameplay, yes, you do get to shove your side lanes a lot quicker. Yes, you do get your attack speed, which feels really nice for the lane phase up there. But the game is all about team fights right now.
So the way that I always think about it when people bring up the on-hit versus AP Kennen, think of every big Kennen moment in the history of all your time watching League of Legends esports. What are all of them? They're all giant slicing maelstroms into like 4 dudes to win the game. None of it's like, damn, bro, did you see how many minions he auto-attacked there? Did you see how many CS he was up in lane?
Also, everybody can do Shiv nowadays anyways. That's nothing
exactly.
special there. All right, let's catch up here on the actual bans, though. They ban away the Neela. Blaber is the only guy drawing Neela bans, or Berserker, excuse me. I am very proud of him for that.
I forgot that champion was real up until I just saw her picture right there.
Jack, of course, proud in the audience as well, here to cheer on Cloud9 at the end of the split to see if they can secure their spot as the #1 team and can at least secure their tiebreaker with Golden Guardians. They insta-lock the Lovers duo here, Flowers, to round it out. That is a lot of AoE damage now.
They are ready to go with the Xayah Rakan as FlyQuest are going to lock the Renekton for themselves. And let's see if they want to go with this LeBlanc here as the final pick of the draft. Some very bursty potential for Vicla if they do. The Static Shiv build is a favorite of that one, but no. Instead, they're going with Sylas.
Yeah, the LeBlanc is a bit of a self-counter there, so I was starting to sweat a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it can get risky. Yeah, you can get the upper hand if you get a jungle diff, but it's a little bit hard to pull that one off. So he goes with the Sylas instead.
All right, and a reminder, with the regular season coming to a close, it's nearly time for the LCS playoffs. Starting next Thursday, we'll be back for 3 weeks of double elim action as teams battle for a spot at the LCS Championship in Newark. Check out lolesports.com for more information, but make sure you keep your eyes on them days. Wednesday, no more. If you show up here Wednesday, we're not going to be here. Next week, it's Thursday, Friday. The 2 weeks after that, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the week after that, that's when we hit Jersey. That's where the big showdown happens. That's where we decide who's who in the battle for spots at Worlds.
That's when the fireworks go off.
Getting the win yesterday, it locked FlyQuest out of that spot no matter how they've played, but their 2-0 so far has been exactly what they needed to do that's in their own power, and if they could finish their split with a win over tied potentially for first C9, at least they would have that to walk out on.
All right. Any shenanigans early here? See if we have any attempts at getting early vision on Ivern. There's one.
Zven has told me how much this is his favorite emote. He loves the Papega frog to flash at opponents whenever they make a play that doesn't quite work out. So.
Just saw a horse flying past his screen.
Yeah.
Barely grazing him there. No
Question mark?
No knock up with the W, but they did get their ward in on red buff.
All right, so let me ask you this, Kobe. What is the recipe for success here for FlyQuest to wrap up this split with a 3-0 week and get the dub over C9, who has consistently been one of the top teams in the league?
I think Spica actually has a lot of options of who to play around right now. And he can end up towards top triangle, you know, make some plays here with the melee solo laners on FlyQuest. But really, they're going to need Prince. They're going to need the Aphelios to have a good game to be able to carry these team fights later on. So far, Impact getting a early little bit of a trade here onto the Kennen.
Yep, and as our top laners trade auto attacks and minions collide, we're going to send things down to Gabby and C9's coach, Mithy, for a quick interview.
Thank you, Flowers. I've got Mithy. First question to you. How does it feel to know that every single time a loss happens, Zven and Blaber are always just saying draft gap, just memeing the heck out of you?
Well, I mean, draft is a very important part of League, but I mean, they do cope quite a bit, so it's just funny.
What kind of stakes are you putting as a team into this game? Because if you win it, you do get to go into the tiebreaker for first place, but I want to know the effect on the mentality of everyone playing.
Yeah, I mean, this game is one of the most important ones this season, honestly. Like, there's a lot on the line. FlyQuest has nothing to lose as well, so they're playing pressure-free. They can do their best. They have been doing well in scrims, apparently, where there's no stress on the line. So, you know, we're definitely ready and respecting our opponents for this game.
Speaking of respect, I feel like you got to throw some respect on the Ivern for Spica, Ivern in general. Any thoughts on that coming into this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. We'll see how we handle it. I think we'll be fine, but you never know.
All right, well, let's see how Cloud9 does in this matchup against FlyQuest. Back to the game.
All right, that's scary Ivern coming in from mid lane now, looking for EMENES. He finds the root, but only through the buffer. EMENES might just drop. He flashed late. He dies to the chain lash.
When I talk about Ivern having options with the solo lanes early, I didn't mean this early, because you always expect Ivern to finish the full clear. Because his full clear is so fast and you can finish before the 3-minute mark, you always expect him to just go to his red quadrant and pick those up. But Spica, with a really nice adaptation there, goes through mid lane. His Q lands as the Tristana is jumping, and Vicla, that allows him to go for the dash, get the kill here onto EMENES, and Spica's going to be on a warpath here. He goes to visit both solo lanes. Yeah.
You know, I'm always reminded, one of my core memories in League of Legends, Kobe, is an old Saint Vicious stream where he's playing a Mumu and he accidentally levels Bandage Toss at level 2 and he goes, oh man, what am I supposed to do now? I guess I'll just gank. Nobody expects level 2 a Mumu, and he gets first blood, and they end up just snowballing the whole game off of it. Sometimes the least expected option is the most effective option.
And I like it too, because it's not even very inefficient. You don't lose a lot of time coming back through mid lane. With them pushed up like that, it was a pretty quick and easy stop. Meanwhile, we do get the flash on bottom side here for the threat onto Vulcan. He's got a Hex Flash, of course, though, so you don't lose too much.
Exactly. Those supports that run the Hex Flash don't feel nearly as bad about having to lose the primary summoner spell as others would, considering there's lots of playmaking that Rell can do with that, coming out from brushes, looking for shattering strikes into big engages.
But look how much work this Ivern was able to do. So much vision for the top side, including the crab. Bottom engage, though, and
there's that shattering strike into the big engage I'm talking about, but the problem is it was just a food delivery as C9 end up winning the 2v2, and now Blaber's ready to join up to maybe get something else against Prince. He'll look for that second part of the W, but Spica's here to reinforce in time. Misses the Q, means there's no lockdown on Blaber there. Prince and Spica just hanging out, making sure that Prince doesn't get jumped on by these three. Zven is still very low, and Berserker has almost no mana, so even though it's a man advantage for C9, FlyQuest isn't really afraid here.
Yeah, Cloud9, Blaber's just sticking around to help them push out the wave so they can get their reset off. And he does just that, so job well done. Even though Blaber doesn't get any kill participation in that one, the bottom lane had already taken care of business, turning that one back around. And that's one where, yeah, you do miss the difference between a regular flash and a Hex Flash, because you can't get out. The defensive properties aren't quite the same, but Vulcan, he wants to get right back up.
Ooh, boy, Impact hitting level 6 here before Fudge. A lot of conversation around Impact this week, who has been looking very serious, very solemn in a lot of the moments that we've seen him. Even backstage when I passed him in the hallway, he just seems very focused, very dialed in. You know that he didn't want to miss playoffs. Unfortunately for FlyQuest, it wasn't entirely their decision.
Counter gank?
But the counter gank from C9 as Vicla just steps out of the way of the grand entrance, making sure he doesn't get tagged by that one. Vulcan just making sure C9 doesn't try anything else cheeky here, and Vicla can clear out the wave.
Yeah, Vulcan had a pretty long timer after what went on down bottom side, so he tried a couple of moves there. He tried to Hex Flash out while we were looking at top lane. Wasn't able to get anywhere near EMENES, so no real damage done.
Yeah, little Shattering Strike there for the quick stab. Prince just trying to evade the feathers, but he has to step into the grand entrance to do it. Almost another kill for Vicla onto EMENES back in mid, as Prince is down to 150 HP. Got to be careful about that one. Spica reinforcing these guys first, but Blaber was there just to make sure FlyQuest didn't try to send the punish all the way. Vicla's going to crash the wave into the tier 1 turret in mid, but Tristana will be back there very quickly. You can see EMENES, unfortunately, not having the teleport means he has to walk all the way back, but C9 are going to take the advantage they have in the bottom lane, translate it over to an early first Drake here, 7
They're
minutes
gonna try all right. Looks like they should be able to get it. Even with mid lane getting chunked out and pushed back, you know, yeah, EMENES does lose out on some minions there at the tower, but as you say, they still get the objective through their bottom lane. Blaber comes up, Dragon for Cloud9, Spica back out, trying to take away a blue buff here, and he's got Smite ready, so just channel and Smite, no problem. The old Ivern tax.
Yep, that's so annoying to deal with as the enemy jungler when Ivern can just show up, instantly steal whatever he wants. Level 6 now for Spica also creates a whole new level of threat when you run into this guy. Ivern pre-level 6, when you find him in the jungle, he's an easy invade target. He's pretty vulnerable, but once he has that Daisy ready to go, things can become much more complicated.
And he did go for the channel on the Gromp too, so that seems to indicate he wants to go back in to finish up on that counter jungling, pop the Daisy, make a look towards Fudge, but Control Wood keeps him out. Now they're all around EMENES, who Flash is about to come back for him. It's so close.
Ooh, Abscond Duck doesn't hit, but a nice predict on the Q there. It still only hits EMENES when he's already in the air, so he buffers through most of that root duration. FlyQuest is trying to apply this pressure as that Grove has fully matured on the Gromp, so Blaber can see that. He'll pick it up himself.
And they're trying to apply pressure before the Rift Herald spawns, so they don't end up getting anything mid, but right there, they easily transition over to the Herald. And with Xayah on bottom side, seems like they are going to give it. Cloud9 make the call. We're not going to contest. So FlyQuest as well, pretty quick adaptation from them. They say, Prince, get right back down there. We don't need you up here. So you can see Prince rotates back through the jungle to bottom side. They won't give up any turret plates here. Spica acquires the Rift Herald. His Daisy will be on cooldown here for the early stages, so they probably don't want to skirmish right now with Blaber.
The big thing is exactly what you're talking about with Prince, I think. We've seen a lot of those trades today where one team will take the Herald, but then the other side gets the plates and the minion advantage, but Prince gets back down there in time. Impact! Stunned up from Fudge's engage, and Blaber's follow-up means the Croc is gone. Nice pick from the C9 top in jungle.
Crafty little pig there. Able to go over the back.
Oink, oink.
Go over the backside. Flashes in to follow up on Fudge's stun with the ultimate of his own for the stun. Cloud9, every time you take something from them, they're always looking for that counter option. And even with the triple wards through the river, Blaber just goes straight ahead anyways. Arctic Assault, get into position.
Ooh, Vicla with the quickness. Just very snappy trade onto EMENES. I feel like it had to have been expiring pretty quickly, otherwise he wouldn't have just popped it like that. But hey, a little bit of a trade back onto the Trist.
Yeah, it is a pretty good, setup for Vicla this game with all the attention mid that FlyQuest have put. A lot of resources there towards him, setting this Sylas up for success to be able to scale later on. There's so many good ultimates for the Sylas to steal. Definitely has the possibility to have a huge impact in those team fights. And especially because FlyQuest are going to consistently need to ward their flanks to watch out for the Kennen flanks. Having someone like him to be able to have the power to push out side lanes and get that extra positioning for vision setup will be hugely beneficial. Topside trade for bottom though here. Looks like neither top laner will get caught in the pinch, and it's just going to be turret plates traded.
But the problem is about trading plates and trading progress on turrets when you're up against a team that has the Herald side pretty much always wins these, as Vicla continues putting that pressure on EMENES back in the mid lane in the Sylas versus Tristana matchup. Berserker still just trying to get this third plate down here in the bottom lane as the Herald is summoned up in the top side. It's a 3-man C9 play on Vicla back in mid. I don't think he's going to be taking anybody with him, and EMENES gets the money while the top lane turret falls. That is first turret bonus going over to FlyQuest. Even though they're down 1-3 in kills, they're still leading in the overall gold. Now they get the second Herald charge under the tier 2.
Cloud9 want to defend, it looks like here. Fudge rotates over. The tower's still going to go down, but
yeah, C9 can't stop it.
They don't have Sejuani here close enough, no damage either. So FlyQuest, in the end, they still get the super hard Rift Herald charge. They do get 2 towers for themselves. But Cloud9 also being able to get the kill onto Vicla towards mid lane, allowing EMENES on the Tristana to get up to turret plates in mid lane as well. Definitely a good counterpunch here. Both these teams not giving any ground without an answer.
All right, Kobe, I know that you're a fan of Ivern, so let me ask you, how do we feel about Rylai's rush first on this champion? I feel like this is not the standard build.
Yeah, it helps out your Daisy a little bit to be able to chase people down. Some of the nerfs were slowing down Daisy, so now you are also going to have that slow. If Daisy's like fish around the team fight, obviously your shield already slow, so it's not going to benefit there, and the Q already, of course, snares. Let's see.
Maybe we'll get something spicy out of it. FlyQuest are in the bottom side river now, though, because they're looking at this Drake. Remember, the Cloud9 got the first one 5 minutes ago or so. They have a ward on this second one in the pit, freshly placed down. But C9 do not just want to give it away. They're ready to contest for this. We might get a big old team fight here, as there is no teleport for either top laner just yet. But Fudge only has a few seconds left on his cooldown. He will have that advantage over Impact here for a little bit. FlyQuest need to be cognizant of that.
Taking their time setting up for it. EMENES, though, wanted that last little bit of damage on the turret plate, and he will get it.
Nicely played, man. This gold is so close between these two teams.
And that tiny difference in teleport cooldowns, Flowers, is why FlyQuest are waiting for the rotation here for Impact, waiting for a couple more seconds. Blaber does find him on his attempt to come down for Dragon, but even being scouted out, now his teleport cooldown comes back up and allows FlyQuest to be able to take it up. No problem there for Spica with Daisy.
Yeah.
2v1.
He is doing it on top of a ward, though, so I would normally say there could be an opportunity for C9 to steal something away, but Blaber has no smite, and he's on the other end of the rift, so this should be easy peasy for Spica as long as he doesn't disrespect no smite it for some reason. There we go. Drake secured some FlyQuest, so neither side stacking towards a soul early. 30 seconds remain before the plates are completely removed from the map. We can see all 5 plates still standing on both mid lane and bottom lane for the side of C9. All 5 were taken in top, however. You can see 1 + 3, that's 4 plates taken between top and mid on FlyQuest side, plus an additional 3 there in the bottom lane. So 7 plates total taken by C9, 5 taken by FlyQuest, but Fly also got that entire tier 2 turret in top.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see it on the scoreboard with the counter punches thrown by both teams. Splitting dragons, very close on gold. It comes down to execution in these team fights. FlyQuest will be trying to protect Prince, this Aphelios, with the Ivern shields, with multiple people on the sides trying to scout out and mark Fudge, make sure that Kennen doesn't get a crazy engage off, because guess what? FlyQuest, they're going into a game versus an AP Kennen with no exhaust. So you have to watch your flanks. You cannot afford for him to be able to flash into the back line and get unanswered AoE damage off. They are definitely set up with a lot of options to track, though.
Glacial Prison finds the enemy support because if Aphelios had cleansed, they interrupt the jump over the wall with crash down too. So C9 secure their 4th kill of the game, and they do it just in time to grab the Herald.
Blaber, Sejuani, marksman here. Pretty quick kill, pretty quick objective afterwards. Vicla, though, goes for a 1v1 with EMENES. Gets the ultimate out of him. Buster shots him away.
Exactly. Forcing out the Buster shot from EMENES now means the Tristana has to be that much more respectful here in the 1v1. As the Kennen ultimate is used to not great effect by Fudge. Impact ready to TP into the fight now. The Herald is going to be secured by C9, but what about the fight after? Moonlight Vigil looking for it, but they ain't going to find the damage through that. Impact will get it done himself. Vicla still seeing if he can find something else here. Still has the Buster Shot. Abscond, Abduct, will not connect. EMENES is split pushing in the bottom lane at the same time, looking to put some damage into the tier 2. Blaber continues his retreat. Vicla, even if he lands the Everfrost, even if he finds some CC, you're not going to burst through that Sejuani. C9 will be happy with this one, I think.
Yeah, extra little bit of gold for them. EMENES also using his teleport to help come cover mid every fight here, Flowers, even over each minion wave. Quick answer is still going to be a little bit of this deep vision, and Vicla wants another one.
Vicla going after EMENES there. Buster shots him away, probably again running low on the cooldown. And yeah, even though it was +1 kill for FlyQuest in the trade, I think getting the turrets in bottom side, having TP advantage on your top laner now for C9, they're still going to come out on top overall across the rift.
Yeah, but it's just by super slim margins.
Yeah.
Really, you're not hitting item breakpoints from any of these gold leads that we've seen change hands in this game, as Vulcan gonna get a little bit frisky with the support versus support. 100 damage dealt.
Ready to go. Got to top those charts. Spica tried to follow it up there with a root caller, but unfortunately the timing was a little bit off, so Zven was able to get away. FlyQuest with 2 turrets, C9 with 1. 1,101 kills.
I love it. That's the benefits of changing roles.
Yeah,
Coming
that's
from an AD carry, you rarely see supports.
It's pretty impressive for a support
Yeah.
KDA there.
Quite the bloodthirsty support here.
Yeah.
Zven, meanwhile, is gonna get visual confirmation on the attempt bottom side from FlyQuest and throw up his customary salute of the Pepega Frog.
Let him see the Pepega Frog. Back in mid, Prince just now cycling off of the Infernum, back into the Severum, so a little bit more dangerous in those up-close, smaller skirmishes, not quite as much AoE. Vulcan popping the Magnet Storm. They're really wanting to bring down Zven here. The Ignite still ticking. Oh!
Topside, they're gonna go for a dive, teleport in.
Vicla jumping away, trying to use the mobility on Sylas here to outplay this, but 3v1 is just too much. C9 picks it up.
Wow, Cloud9 simultaneously. Zven escapes the play from FlyQuest towards mid, and they make a counter play topside. The teleport dive does work. Berserker rotates back to mid lane to be able to deal with the minion wave. And with the Rift Herald, they get the tower to boot.
Exactly. Earlier it was the Rift Herald used by FlyQuest to get themselves the advantage in the top lane with objectives. Now C9 are doing the same thing.
Plus, that's a full 40 seconds ahead of the dragon spawn, so they can get Fudge his recall off. Rift Herald charges through. Now they can reset back to base. Control wards picked up by multiple members. Blaber with 1, Fudge with 1. Couple here from Zven to try and come over and set up preemptively for the arrival of Dragon number 3.
C9 with a nearly 2,000 gold lead, liking their current position in the game. Impact here on the Renekton does not have a flash, so he's going to get jumped on by Blaber, but they can't get all 4 stacks to lock him down, try to do anything else. You don't really want to go all in on Renekton anyway, but we do have a TP now showing up from Vicla, looking for a potential flank. FlyQuest, this could be their move. Vicla's coming around, but he's spotted by a control ward. He steals away the Rakan ulti, jumps back over the wall. Blaber flashing out of the way to guarantee that he can get the Arctic Assault back over the wall without being body blocked, but EMENES just took the tier 2 in bottom lane.
All right, Prince has double summoner spells rotating over to the team. FlyQuest trying to take this dragon down with Daisy tanking. Setting up the brush. EMENES on the flank Tristana. He's going for a recall, actually. He's out of there.
Yeah, it looks like C9 are saying, all right, maybe we don't go for this. Red-white guns on the Aphelios. Drake gonna partially reset here as Impact and Vicla and Vulcan rotate over to stop C9 from taking the tier 1 turret at the same time. They'll leave Aphelios and Ivern back over in the Drake pit to secure that objective.
Tower for Dragon here. Mountain Dragon picked up for FlyQuest. Daisy taken down for a nice 50 gold there, and they're not done.
They fire off the Glacial Prison, and they aim true at Spica. Blaber sniping on the Sejuani again.
And the best part is, he emoted the happy bee when Daisy got killed. Didn't know he was next. Sejuani again. Blaber. We have seen some Sejuani whiffs in the North American LCS. In the history of our league.
It has happened before, sir.
It has actually happened. That ability does miss sometimes, but not today. Not in the hands of Blaber.
Sir. C9 up 3,500 gold. Now, this game that was going back and forth, and we were talking about how evenly traded it was and how it was down to execution, I think Cloud9 have executed. This lead is starting to become very scary for FlyQuest. I don't really know what the angle is going to be here.
Yeah.
They tried to commit the TP from Vicla to get the collapse and make some sort of a play back there before that Drake fight, but C9 just didn't let them.
Yeah, and one of the biggest pain points of that gold is Tristana being at 2-item power spike here with the Shiv plus the Quick Blades on EMENES. He has definitely had some pretty strong carry Tristana games for Cloud9. And as long as they can, right now he's actually making a trailing play on the bottom side. I actually love these trailing split push plays when you have both solo laners going for it. And Impact thinks it's just Fudge, but EMENES is here. Ooh, just in time. Impact should be able to slink away.
He has no tier 2 turret to get to. EMENES is just going to use Rocket Jump again. Impact dumps the entire combo on him, but he's still got to be so respectful and continue his retreat here. I mean, Kobe, look, here's the deal. Vicla is behind EMENES in the 1v1 matchup there. Fudge has not been able to, or Fudge has not ended up getting dominated by Impact in the 1v1 at all. I feel like it's either Spring Split Prince having a massive carry performance, or FlyQuest is hard-pressed for a win condition here.
Yeah, Cloud9 setting themselves up for success in the mid game here. Now they're hitting multiple 2-item power spikes. It's not just EMENES. Fudge just picks up the Shadow Flame. That, along with Sork Shoes, he is going to do massive damage here with all of that flat penetration towards the backline of FlyQuest. They will be very vulnerable. And remember, as we said earlier, there is no exhaust this time around. You don't have that counterplay against the Kennen ultimate, so even with a cleanse, might be difficult there for Prince. Will need some extra peeling help from the team. Gotta peel for your AD carry in the meta right now. He's got plenty of frontline. He's got an Ivern at his back, so definitely have the tools to do it here on FlyQuest.
It's the classic mid-game mage build of destruction. Sork Shoes plus Magic Pen mythic item plus Shadow Flame. Somebody's gonna die if you're casting all those spells, and that's exactly Fudge's goal. EMENES jumps over the wall with a rocket jump. Follow-up from Blaber and Zven is true, and that's an instant pop on the enemy jungler. It's 22 minutes into the game, Kobe. The Baron is available. FlyQuest gonna try to get something back here on Zven. Vicla finds a little bit of damage on him, but he's still at half HP. C9 starting up the objective.
All right, we're getting a recall for Impact. Is that in order to go get a buy-off to teleport in and actually fight this?
I feel like it must be.
They're gonna do it.
But
even
the Baron's already gone. The Baron's already down. It's secured by Blaber and C9. FlyQuest knows they can't just run into Fudge. She's got Slicing Maelstrom plus Flash. I think they just have to walk this one off. C9 made out like bandits.
They certainly did. They kill the jungle. Surgical removal of enemy smite. They get the Baron. They get the teleport out of Impact. And no life lost there from the side of Cloud9. They have been very clean this game, Flowers.
Yeah. Nicely done from them. Even if it was close early on, FlyQuest have done nothing but fall further and further behind. Since then, 6,000 gold now. The lead for C9. EMENES just maintaining that pressure here on the Tristana in the side. Impact again on the Renekton. You got Gore Drinker. You got the pieces of your next item. But it's not enough to be a real serious threat, as Vulcan's just trying to get some vision control here in their own jungle. EMENES takes out the tier 2 turret on the top side and disengages Renekton, barely even scratched.
All right, I have to think Cloud9 not want to risk anything until next dragon comes up. They've got Baron buff, so you keep up a light siege. Baron power this cannon minion, get a little bit more chip damage, but as long as nobody gets caught.
Zven might be the target here. Had to flash away in the abduct from Sylas. Vicla stealing away the Sejuani ulti just to give FlyQuest a little bit of extra pick potential. That dragon you're talking about spawning here in 15 seconds, and it's C9 making their way over.
All right, FlyQuest. Can they use the Sejuani ultimate as well as Blaber has so far? Because that thing has been a death sentence for anyone on Blaber's screen. Cloud9 taking away all the vision.
I mean, both your AD carries are so strong now on C9. You can kind of just control the jungle with everybody else, keep them zoned away. You send either the Xayah or the Tristana down there to pick up the Drake by themselves. Looks like they are going to send Blaber down there just to make sure they have the smite for the secure. And there it is. Berserker's feathers are just absolutely shredding the thing. And that is Drake number 2 of the game for C9, plus 7,000 gold. Their lead, they still have Baron for another 60 seconds.
It certainly looks like we are seeing a slow march for Cloud9 towards a tiebreaker at the top of the table, and they go for it!
Glacial Prison, it's gonna find Vulcan. He tries to counter-engage here with a Magnet Storm, but it ain't gonna work. Keep your eyes on Fudge. The Slicing Maelstrom could still come out with a flash over the wall. He's ready to go! He finds Vicla, he finds FlyQuest, a double kill, a triple kill. Impact's alive, but it don't matter. EMENES is gonna take care of that real soon. Ruthless Predator for a stun, but it's only buying a little bit of time. EMENES flashing after the Croc here to detonate the explosive charge. That'll complete the ace. That'll complete the game for C9.
Cloud9, they've got a date with the Golden Guardians later today, Flowers, at the top of the LCS.
Cloud9 gonna take the win here. The respawn only in time for Vulcan. C9's gonna end the regular season with a win. They will earn themselves a tiebreaker with Golden Guardians for first place, and they'll take down FlyQuest.
Well, well, well. We have seen Golden Guardians versus FlyQuest a lot this year, Flowers. Cloud9 have gotten the majority of the wins, but in summer, Golden Guardians right now have been looking to me like they will put up a much better fight. So I'm excited for that matchup for sure.
Exactly. We've got 2 tiebreakers heading you guys' way.